you're making the right career and investment decision. But let's talk about digital transformation because it's been going on for quite a while. So, what was it before? So, first, when companies started transforming their processes to basically have them on digital technologies, it was really focused on tools. So, a company would think, okay, we need to get all of our files, for example, up into the cloud or at least into our computers. So, it was very much about, okay, let's get a consultant in to work with the chief technology officer, to work with the chief information officer, and to actually just implement this tool. And then once everybody uses this tool, things will be good. Well, some of it worked. Some of it obviously has worked because the way we work, the way we do things now is very, very different. But there was a major problem. And actually, according to a study that McKinsey did, um, a lot of these efforts did not go well. So McKinsey estimates that 70% of digital transformation programs fail to meet their goals. So 70%. And if you think about it, this is a fantastically huge amount of money because if there's about $1.6 trillion being spent on digital transformation today, and 70% of it is wasted, that's like what, around $1 trillion being wasted? It's pretty bad. So basically, now company leaders, now that they've seen this, and some people have lost their jobs over this, um, now company leaders have seen this and they want to say, okay, how am I going to do this differently? Because digital transformation is not going to stop, it's not going to end. We can't stop this digitization, and like AI is everywhere, for example. But the way we were doing it before was wrong. So digital transformation efforts now look very different. And the reason why I know this is because my company actually researched this. So my company, Tech for Non-Techies, we worked in partnership with researchers from the University of Chicago, so literally one of the best universities in the world, to find out how the best companies in the world approached digital transformation and what they learned from any of their failures. And what we saw was that, as I mentioned previously, these efforts were really about tools and about the CTO and the techies implementing them, but they kind of didn't involve the rest of the company. And that didn't really work very well because it's kind of like the way I like to think about it is kind of like imagine there's a married couple and they're having some issues and they need to work on the marriage. And one of the people is super into it, like they're really committed. They're like, let's go to marriage counseling, let's do all these things. And the other partner is like, well, meh, whatever. Like, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'm also fine. And that's clearly a recipe for disaster. This is a disjointed attitude. And companies equally had this disjointed attitude to digital transformation. So you had the techies thinking, yeah, we're committed, this is great, like finally, like we're doing all this interesting work. But then, like the business teams, sales and marketing and legal were not really on board. Nobody really explained to them why it was so important, why it was so relevant to them. So even though they went to these compulsory trainings, it was kind of in one ear, out of the other. This is why digital transformation 2.0, which is what we have in 2023 going forward, it is going to be starting with people first and tools second. So what do I mean by people first? What I mean here is that it's going to be about first winning the hearts and minds of the corporate population. So, literally educating people. Why is this important? What's happening? How is this going to benefit your career? This is not going to take your job away. This is actually going to make your job more interesting and more creative because technology can do some of the faff and you can do the more interesting stuff. So, it is going to be first about giving people a digital mindset. And only once the hearts and minds have actually been won, then it's about implementing tools. So, the way you can think about it is digital transformation 1.0 was tools first, people second. That didn't work because, people are stubborn. Digital transformation 2.0 is people first, tools second. And this is where your opportunity lies. So, Because digital transformation 2.0 is people first and tools second, what do these people have to be like? Who are these people? Essentially, the new type of employee that each corporation is literally going crazy for is a person who can speak business and a person who can speak tech. And please note that I said speak business and speak tech. I didn't say that this person has to literally know every single coding language, be a brilliant developer, and also have an MBA and also lead a business. Like, this would literally be some kind of like cartoonish character that does not exist. What I mean is that if you are watching this and you're an engineer, I recommend that you start taking some business courses and just start understanding how does the technology, how's the code that you're writing, how does that relate to business outcomes? And if you're on the business side, do you know what the tech teams are doing? Like, if a CTO walked in the room, would you be able to ask them an intelligent question? If they talk to you about the back end or the front end or mentioned an API, would you understand what those words meant? If you don't, then you don't speak tech. And learning to speak tech isn't actually that hard. This is not where you need to go really deep and take a Python course. Learning to speak tech is literally understanding the core concepts of technology, being able to ask the right questions so you can be a good collaborator to the techies. Equally, if you are a techie, I don't think that you necessarily have to go and get an MBA. You don't have to become an accountant. You don't have to become a marketer. You just have to understand what these people do and how your work relates to their work. So, what I recommend that you do is start learning the bits where you are missing. So, if you're a techie, learn some business. If you're a business person, learn some tech. And there are lots of really great, very useful, highly intelligent, and amusing lessons on the Tech for Non-Techies podcast. The Tech for Non-Techies podcast is available on Apple, on Spotify, on the Tech for Non-Techies website, so you can just see that in the notes, and wherever you get your podcast. And there'll be more lessons here. So subscribe, like, and share. And thank you very much for listening. Have a fabulous day.